We're at the Vietnam Veterans Plaza in New York City. It's located at 55 Water Street, and this is a symbol of American honor and recognition for all those that served and also gave the ultimate sacrifice. Once again, we are in New York City, 55 Water Street. It is Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day. It's March 27th, 2021. And this is the Walk of Honor where the names of the 1,741 New Yorkers who died in the Vietnam War is listed. We're at Vietnam Veterans Plaza here in New York City, 55 Water Street. It is Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day. With us is the head of the Veterans Affairs, James Hendon. Tell us a little bit about today and also about your department.
So, first off, today is just an opportunity for us to honor and recognize our veterans who fought and served in the Vietnam War. So those who were in the conflicts in the Indochina region from, 1955 November through 1975 April. We're just so happy to take moments to stop and recognize them, including those from New York, but not just New York, but abroad. And as for the Department of Veteran Services, our mission is to connect, mobilize, and empower New York City's veteran community in order to foster purpose-driven lives for service members past and present, in addition to their caregivers, survivors, and families. We recognize that in New York City's 210,000 member veteran community, the largest cohort of them are those veterans who served in Vietnam and their families and their survivors and loved ones. And so we're so happy to stand proud with them today during this great event.
And what are some of the not activities, but benefits that the veterans can get through your office?
The best way to think about it is that we work hard to uplift the past for our veterans, to empower the present, and to pioneer the future. So as far as the past goes, for those veterans who pass away who require the appropriate funeral honors and the appropriate burial and recognitions, we make sure that those things occur. We're also recording histories of our veterans. And so we record the histories and we make sure they're archived with the municipal archives and with the Library of Congress through our Veteran Voices project. Another example of the past is helping veterans go back in time and gather whatever information is needed to remit service-connected disability claims. So for veterans who need to file for claims from the VA, we help them with that. The present boils down to things that involve food, housing, employment, and health care, Kristal. So things that if a veteran is in need as far as anything ranging from food to help for that job search, to assistance with tying into VA health care, to looking for a place to stay, especially for our veterans who were formerly homeless. We do a lot to help there. And as far as pioneering the future, we're doing everything we can to try to make New York City a destination place for those new veterans, those service members who transition from active duty, who are looking for the next place where they will live, learn, work. We have different programs and efforts where we try to get them to come and live, learn, work in the city of New York.
Oh, well, that's a great department. Thank you so much. And they go to New York City Veterans Affairs?
That's right. And just for those who to visit us online, they can always find us. It's nyc.gov/vets. They can call us at 212-416-5250. They can email us. The address is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. And on social media, it's the handle @NYCVeterans. So, yeah.
So there's a lot of help out there. And thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. And thank you to our Vietnam veterans and their families. Thank you.
With us is Greg Williams, and he is this fraternity, what?
Mu Beta Phi Military Fraternity Incorporated. That's what we like to, always lead in. You got to get that Mu Phi.
Mu Phi.
There you go.
And tell me what war you were in.
So, Kristal, I served for the past 13 years in the U.S. Army Reserves, made a jump over to the U.S. Army National Guard. I served on all the naval and coastal waters by Djibouti. Not so much the Coast Guard, but the Navy. Camp Lemonnier, Djibouti. Stuff is going on out there. That's why we got people out there. Niger, all the Congo, all those dangerous places. Yeah, Djibouti is popping. But if people don't know where Djibouti is, it's in between Somalia, Eritrea, and Ethiopia. So I was out there. Also Afghanistan, Kandahar, running around doing news stories as a public affairs NCO. So, I've also done a couple of missions out in Slovenia, Macedonia. The Army has paid for me to travel the world, and you gotta love it.
You gotta love it. So your experience with the Army has been quite positive.
It's been very positive. I have 3 MOSs, military occupational specialties, public affairs, transportation, civil affairs. My grandfather was a World War II vet. So growing up, I used to listen to his stories. Oh, I used to eat worms out of a foxhole. And I just look at him. And as a 6-year-old, you're just like, slobbering like, I don't know what you're talking about. But then when I became older, I, became an actor. So I was in a couple of Law and Order, some films, Manchurian Candidate, The Interpreter. I just had that call to serve. And I went one day on a lunch break to Times Square and took the pre-ASVAB, took the ASVAB. Next thing I know, I'm shipping off to Fort Leonard Wood, lost in the woods, and just from there, just taking a hold of my career and had a lot of great mentors. If you're thinking about joining the military, mentors, mentors, mentors. Listen to what they got to say. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to help you.
Well, and today is Vietnam Recognition Day down here in New York City.
Yeah.
And what does this day mean to you?
It means a lot. Just because I get to talk to a lot of veterans every day on my day job, but then also as a member of the fraternity Mu Beta Phi, we're international fraternity. We're exclusive only to military veterans, and we come in all shapes, sizes, colors, complexions, experiences. And talking to the Vietnam era veterans, they kind of give you a perspective of the conflict from their eyes. All of the stuff that was happening here in the U.S., and they have to deal with it in country, fighting guerrilla warfare style, tactical mindset. It was just very eye-opening. And they are the predecessors for all of the teachers that we had, coming in the early 2000s and late 2000s, So this day is a day for us to give them their flowers while they're here and they're still alive. They're not like the World War II veterans and Korean War veterans who are slowly, phasing out. They're still here. They didn't get that welcome home. When I came back home from Afghanistan, I had everything. Hey, you need claims, you need medical, you need school. They didn't have that. So if I could do a little bit just to give back, just to show my appreciation, that's it.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your service.
All right, thank you so much, Kristal.
This is Michael Bocchini, and he is with the state's Veterans Affairs. And right here we have the proclamation.
Yes, it was my pleasure today to deliver the proclamation on behalf of Governor Cuomo for Vietnam Veterans Day. And it's a beautiful day for the event. Really couldn't have worked out better.
And tell us a little bit about your job and the benefits that the veterans have through the state.
Sure. So I'm the Deputy Director for the New York State Division of Veteran Services. We operate offices in all 5 boroughs, although right now everybody's working from home because of COVID, and then out on Long Island and upstate as well. And our job, if you think about if the VA is the IRS, we are like H&R Block. So we help you file your paperwork to access the benefits that a veteran has earned through their service. There's federal benefits, state benefits, and then local benefits as well. And so we're kind of benefits detectives. We sit down with the veteran or the family member, and we figure out what they might be entitled to.
And on that proclamation, what were some of the highlights that were said on that?
Well, the highlights were definitely talking about the enormous sacrifice that New Yorkers made. Over 4,000 New Yorkers paid the ultimate sacrifice. You think about the 1,600 Americans who never came home at all. They're still missing in action. And you think about, in the ceremony today, we had the sister. She was referencing the letter from her brother. He was 20 years old when he died. And you just think about how these were just kids, who were fighting for America. And it's up to the rest of us to remember them and to tell their story and to take care of their families and also to take care of their brothers and sisters who came home and have both physical and mental scars.
And talking about that, this wall behind us, they have letters etched, excerpts from letters etched in it that you can come down here at 55 Water Street right here in New York City and read and go through that wall.
Definitely. Everybody who's in Lower Manhattan should stop by. It's well worth a visit.
Yeah. And someday tourists when they come back.
Definitely.
With us is Mark Otto. Mark Otto is the head of the United War Council Veterans. Tell us a little bit about the organization, and also today it's Vietnam Veterans Day here in New York City.
Yeah, so I'm President and Executive Director of the United War Veterans Council. Our history dates back to the mid-'80s, and coincidentally, the man that we honor today, Vince McGowan, was the person who stood up the United War Veterans Council with a couple of Vietnam veterans, so Harvey Bagg and Bernie Ray. And through that, they were able to save the New York City Veterans Day Parade from going into extinction in the mid-'80s. Since then, the parade has just blown up. Now it is the largest veterans event in the country every year. We get about 25,000 marchers, 300 marching units. We get folks coming in from 36 different states, and we also have our foreign allies coming in from overseas. So today, it's fitting that we're honoring Vince McGowan. He is one of the giants of the New York City veterans community. He's been at every level with the city and the state, rallying for veterans and veterans' rights that they so have deserved over the years and fighting in many, many wars. So Vince today was with us. We retraced the Vietnam Veterans Welcome Home Parade route from 1985. We started in Camden Plaza, came across the bridge, down the Canyon of Heroes, and ended up here at the memorial. So for the old timers, this is our third year doing it. Obviously, we skipped last year because of COVID. However, it gives the old timers this chance to actually sort of relive their olden days and their moments back in '85 when they were all together coming here to the plaza. So this is a very meaningful day for us all. For the UWVC, it's one of my favorite events every year, especially now that we're combining the March Across the Bridge. We really sort of turned this day on its ear simply because we didn't want this to be another Vietnam War Memorial Day, right? So by doing the march, we get other members of the veterans community involved, and they all come out and celebrate and embrace Vietnam veterans. And the great thing is, normally, this is an unusual year, but in years past, what we have is families coming out with their little kids. And that's really what we're trying to do, is to educate the young folks of all the sacrifices of the generations from before them. So I served from '88 to '92 in the United States Marine Corps. I fought in the Panama invasion. I fought in the first Gulf War, Desert Storm. I'm sixth in my family to serve in war. So we go back to World War I.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and thank your family.
Thank you. It's an honor to serve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With us, Vince McGowan, and he was credited with the Patrick Gualtieri Award for service. And just tell us a little bit about this award. They had a big introduction of everything that you helped out on, even with 9/11.
Yeah, it's been an exciting couple of decades, but it seems like every year something else comes up. But the award, well, talk about the award first. The award was established by Pat Gualtieri, who was our fifth executive director, and who really brought a different way of looking at the veterans community that's resonated and continued to this day. Unfortunately, we lost him a couple of years ago. But the award symbolizes the can-do effort of the United War Veterans Council to achieve the goals of the community. It's not like a bunch of guys sitting around a bar thinking of what to do next. It actually is input from the people that are getting services or that are giving services that talk about what they see the community need, and then that community need is sort of spun into some sort of a program, some sort of a funding mechanism, and then you go out and make it happen. And that's pretty much how it works. You get a good idea, and you find people that will back it, and then you find people that will work it, and next thing you know, it's 40 years later, and everybody's telling you thank you very much.
I also like the story about this wall, that it was what they gave us just this spot downtown that probably wasn't very recognized or wanted or loved.
Well, the New York of the early 1980s and the late 70s it was a horror show. And Lower Manhattan down here, nobody came to. This was like off limits. The Wall Street area had a lot of life, but there was nothing else going on, just insurance companies, and they came and went. They had 9-hour days and no impact. So this public park, public plaza, was sitting around, and it had been designated for a memorial to the crew that was lost. All men, they were all men who were lost on that ship when they got frozen in the ice. So, thank you for. What do you do when you get something that memorializes a failed expedition? We didn't have a whole lot of choices of land, we got this, we got our 4 acres here, and then we were able to turn it around and turn it into a plaza of hope and into a place of accomplishment and a meeting place for people. So it went from a desolate place that was as frozen in time as that ship was in the Arctic, and we brought it to a spot that now celebrates everything veteran, everything New York City.
And they also said even during 9/11, you were still able to forge ahead and get the wall finally completed.
We were in the last couple of months of a 3-year, $12.5 million program to refurbish the plaza here and fix the wall and keep it fresh. And of course, 9/11 stopped all the imports. It stopped everything, and we weren't going to take that laying down. We weren't going to stop our program because of an attack by all these lunatics, on our land here. We had to find a way of keeping going, and we did, and we were the first public space open in New York City after the attacks of 9/11. And that's because of perseverance, and people know that it's society's responsibility to get back in order. We got to work at putting things back together for our families and for the future.
And just to end, congratulations. And what's next? Where do you see the veterans movement going to? Or what?
I see these young people. They're a lot better educated. They're a lot more ambitious. And they have a lot more needs than we had, but they have a lot more skills. So I'm optimistic that these young veterans that are coming in and getting their education in New York City are going to stay. And for the native New Yorkers like myself who come back from their service, I hope that they use their talents and their benefit package to invest in New York and to help it grow. It's our town. The military has always had a strong presence in New York City, and us former military deserve to be recognized. And even though you deserve it, you have to fight for your place at the table. And I hope that these young fighters come up and make sure that our place is not taken by someone else.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Kristal.
With this Johnnie Williams, and you give me the organization you're with and tell us a little bit about it. Help is on the way? Or?
Yes, Help is on the way for veterans.net. Help is on the way for veteran 1024 CORP is our 501c3. We help veterans with everything. If you go to our website, we have over 900 YouTube videos where you see that we're giving gloves, hats, boots, shoes, socks, and food all year long to everyone. You don't even have to be a vet with us. If you need something, you got to ask, you got to tell us what you need. I got more than 9,000 veterans, they're 100% because they already served their country, so why are they fighting with the other people when I can get them done in 5 months? And everybody's gotten their money with no problem at all. We also have a construction company, the Way for Veterans Contracting Company, LLC. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I am a disabled veteran, yes. They have what's called Service Disabled Veterans Owned Small Business. If you are a veteran and you're tired of just sitting at home and you're a disabled veteran, you apply for that. I will show you how to apply for that. And like my wife and my daughter and the rest of my family members, they all work. You don't have to worry about jobs and stuff. So this is what we do to protect our nation.
And they go to what website? Help?
My website is helpisonthewayforveterans.net.
Okay.
That's just the first one. The other one is johnnyhwilliams.net, where you can learn. If you want to write a book, I have 8 books already. Any help you need, it doesn't make a difference what kind of help you're looking for. johnnyh@mindspring.com is my email. Send me an email, and if you're looking for a job, if you're just looking to take care of your family in a better way, I'll show you how to do it.
Wow. You're a real savior here.
I have right now 29 million veterans. And I love being bothered every day. Vietnam veterans like myself and other veterans, we do not like to sleep at night. Don't ask why. I sleep maybe 30 days out of the whole year.
Really?
And I don't need it. I lost 75 pounds. And anybody wants to lose weight, send me an email. Okay?
I may start emailing you.
That's right. Just email. Everything that you ask for, the federal government put out for us already. But the problem is, we're not the ones asking for it. Or everybody, I got 1,400 On my cell phone alone, I got 1,400 telephone numbers on my cell phone.
Wow.
And we have the Veterans Information Fair 5 times a year. If you send the email and you see the fair, you don't have to look for anything. I have 60 tables of everything that a veteran or the spouse or the children can ask for. My daughter graduated at the age of 23 years old with her master's. She's the first vice president in America at the age of 17 years old. Every time they tell me what we can't do, that is not true. No way. God bless America and help us on the way.
With us is Vicki Miano, and her brother was killed in the war, but he had written some letters home. And the interesting part is this wall behind us has excerpts of letters that were written home to people. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your brother and the letter?
Yes, well, it's from the book Dear America, and all of these letters in it were written by soldiers that were over in Vietnam and sent back to their families, friends, loved ones. And then this is how the memorial came about, was that they were choosing letters, and actually my brother's letters were in the running. This book was already written, obviously, and his letters were in the running, I guess, or whatever, were possibly going to be chosen to be put on this wall, but then in the end, they weren't. But that's how I came to, learn about this memorial. And then when they did the dedication in 1985, we were invited, and it was amazing. It was, it was such a great day for all of the Vietnam veterans who participated that day, because they had a parade for them, and then they came over here, and at night, at the end, they did fireworks, and it was just a really beautiful ceremony. So it was a good remembrance.
So as we said before, come down to the wall. There's different excerpts of different letters from gentlemen, females, service people who served in the war and wrote home letters.
Right. Thank you.
Thank
it's
you.
Always an honor and a privilege to read his letters and keep his memory alive. That's what's important, is to never forget, right? All those who've made the ultimate sacrifice. So we appreciate all of these events that they do.
Memories. We're here today at the New York City Vietnam Memorial Plaza. We all talk about war stories and all our memories. We hear the helicopters flying off, and it reminds us of the helicopters going off the amphibious ships, off the base in Da Nang, in the valleys, in the hot LZs, and we all tell our war stories, bringing back memories. What we should always remember, as far as memories are concerned, are right over there, where those granites are over 1,740 some odd names of all the people that gave the ultimate sacrifice. We should always remember them in our memories. And over 4,000 people that died in the total New York State, and over 58,000 in the nation. And that includes all wars. That permitted us to stand around and tell our war stories and reminisce. Certain sounds and sights brings back memories, certain colors. This was the Vietnam War Service color ribbon on the medals that everybody got. And all the quotations. But it's the memories of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Freedom isn't cheap. So remember them who gave the ultimate sacrifice. God bless them, and God bless America. I'm Billy Hart, United States Naval Vietnam veteran, Amphibious Forces, 1969-1970. God bless the memories of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
The wreaths being laid today represent the following: the United War Veterans Council, Vietnam veterans, prisoners of war, and the missing in action, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, all military service branches. In memory of John F. Ward, U.S. Army, Vietnam. In memory of Michael Galea, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam. Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 126, Green. Korean American Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 126. Flowers presented by Gold Star family members, Vicki, Miano, and Emily Toro. And my apologies. And the Friends of Vietnam Veterans Plaza. This concludes our formal ceremony. Thank you all for joining us today. And once again, thank you to our Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Please continue to stay safe, and we look forward to gathering again with more of our friends next year. Thank you.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Vietnam Veterans Plaza here in New York City. Thanks for watching, and thank a veteran today.